Hello everyone, it's Lexi Bear back with House Flippers 2. Today I'm going to teach you how to make your very own 4-poster bed. So in the game there aren't any 4-poster beds yet. I am sure they will add something similar in the future, hopefully, fingers crossed. But for now we just have to make our own. So I find that double bed is a good size. The single beds make it kind of small and it gets a little cramped. Like just from the top and bottom perspective. One thing you want to make sure when you're picking out of bed is that everything is sort of flush on the sides. You don't want a lot of texturing. You don't want a lot of exceeding the bounds of the sides of the bed. So like this blanket is coming over way far and there's texturing that adds a little bit of extra on the sides here. Same with this bed. You also want to make sure that there's not much of headboard because we're going to make our own headboard. You can use one with a headboard, but for today in this tutorial, I'm just going to show you how to do it and make your own headboard. So a bed like this is my favorite. You could also use this type of bed or this one, just something that has a low profile for the headboard and is very straight as much as possible on the side here. So this is my favorite one to use. We're going to use this one today. And we'll go ahead and plop that down. And then you're going to get your building tool and you're going to come beside the bed. You're going to make sure it's one square above and one square below the bed. And it doesn't matter where you set the bed because we're going to pick it up and align it perfectly with this. So get it as close as possible and make sure you have that square above and below here. And then you can put this closer to the wall. For today, I'm just going to build it this way so that we can see the whole thing. But as long as there is a one square space, you could fit that straight up against the wall. And then we're going to go around like this and like this. Okay. The next thing you want to do is we're going to go ahead and build it up a little higher on the top and the bottom. For the bottom, I usually just go up about 3 for this bed. And for the top, we're going to end up going up quite a bit higher. For right now, we'll just set that about here. And then we'll work with it as we go along. It's easy to add into the bed. Now for this one, you cannot come all the way down here like this because of the way the blankets are. So I like to put in a little bit of a transition. So we'll go to the architecture section here, architectural elements, and we're going to come down here to some of these building moldings. And we're going to go ahead and grab this one. And I like to plop that in right there. And then I put another one down here. And that just gives us a nice little transition on the side of the bed. There aren't any beds that where the blankets don't come over the side. So you just kind of have to deal with that when you're building this. But I like it this way. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pick how we want to do the posters. So, or the 4 posts. So usually what I end up doing is I build them. I take and I go all the way up. I typically go to the ceiling and I'll just do it one square and go all the way up. Now, you can also you can go back to architectural elements, you can go to resizable, and you could pick one of these items that is resizable. I'm not sure if this one is too big. Make sure that it's something that is at just one square in size. You don't want it to overlap. And then you can resize and go up and down as you need. But what we're going to need to do is make sure that if you're using this method, you have to go all the way to the ceiling. You need to make sure that you're attaching the top of the bed all the way up to the ceiling, because you won't have that lovely canopy area if you don't. This bit right here and any of these resizable pieces, you cannot build onto them. They can just go between buildings. So you wouldn't be able to just put a square right here. If we tried, this is what happens. So you have to make sure that you have a bit up here at the top, and then you can resize this and attach it to the top, because we're going to add a canopy, and you can also add curtains with this method I'm going to show you. So this would be how you would do that. If you want to use these resizable posts, you can, and they make for some really beautiful styles. For today, though, we're going to go ahead and stick with the building, just for simplicity's sake. And I like this. I like this method. This is my favorite method. So we'll go ahead and do that on all 4 corners, just going up to the ceiling and stopping right at the ceiling. You don't want to go through it. It'll cause you problems later. And we'll grab this last corner, get our last post in, make sure we're only doing it 1 square, all the way up to the ceiling. Now, we're going to go ahead and fill this space in all the way. So it needs to encompass each of these corners. You want it to be flush all the way around. Now we're going to go ahead and add in at least 1 level of drop down. You can make this come down farther if you want. This is purely based on taste. At least 2 though, because that way you can add things like curtains if that's what you desire, and fun different molding like crown moldings and such. So make sure you're coming all the way down. You do want this to be a bar all the way around the edge as well. So we're going to go ahead and pop that one in here. So you want it to have this inlay right here. All right, so this is what we have so far. Just give you a chance to look at it, see it from the different angles. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to choose what we want to do with the headboard. Now there are all kinds of options. One of my favorite things that I've done before is I've gone to panels and I've grabbed these, and I love how they look. Usually I use the smaller ones, so these, and you can usually do 3, and I think it makes for a very pretty headboard look. You can also go to decorations. There are some wall decor pieces that you can use for the purpose of the headboard. I don't know if this one would work. So you can pick this one. You would have to raise up the back here so that it could fit on, so this could fit on there in a nice position. I believe this one is also, this one is also one you can use if you build up the back a little bit. So play around with it. This is the super fun part. The other thing that you can do is you can pick your own texture in the surface finishes here. Sometimes I like to use the tiles. You could just pick something simple like ceramic. You could come in here, pick one of these lovely pieces, make it a little bigger, pick a nice color, any color that you want, and then you could use this and put it kind of inlaid to give it a headboard look. But for today, I'm going to use the panels because they're my favorite. And there are other panels you can use. You can even use like these square panels here. If that's what you want, if that's the look you're going for, you can put these in. Totally up to you. Another thing that you can do is if you want it to be inset, if you would like your headboard to have sort of a, inlay here, you can also put an entire extra bit back here. You would need to make sure if you're putting it against the wall to have at least 2 spaces instead of just the 1. And then we'd go all the way to the top. Straight up to the ceiling like that. And then you can see we get a lovely little inlay area to put any kind of decoration that we want. You can put these in there. You can add in the outer layer rather. You can make it a little bigger and put these in. I believe you can even do the wall decor items, but let me double check that because they might be a little bit long. Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to do this with an inlay. You would have to keep this straight on the edge of the bed. And for this one, the same thing. You'd have to have it all the way out to the edge. So this inlay is more for these architectural elements that we have at the beginning. You could even use these. I believe these are customizable, any color you want. Yes. So you can do a colored metal, let's say, and you can pick any color. You can fill this in. You could make this inlay any part of the back of the bed as you want. Just use your imagination, make it the way that you like. For me today, I'm going to go ahead and break this down just 1 layer. And we're going to grab those panels and I'm going to show you how to use those specifically. So my favorite one of these is this one. And you can fit 1, 2, 3 exactly perfectly as long as you use the smaller size. So just use the smaller size. You can fit 3 in, and then we're gonna go 1 lower because I do like it to be. I like 2 rows of this, and I do like it to go down to the edge of the bed, like right behind the pillows. So you can do it however you want. You can do it up high, you can do it down low. This is just your headboard. This is the most fun part. You can play with it however you want. And you can fit exactly 3 more right here. All right, so for me, because I'm doing this, I love to have this inlaid. We're gonna go ahead and fill this bit in, just like that. So now we already have this beautiful headboard, nice inlay. Like I said, you can even use a surface element. You could use wood, you could use paint, anything. Do whatever you want. You could even use wallpaper in there, however you like it. Now, for the rest of the bed, there are a lot of fun things you can do to help with the transitions of these corners here so they're not quite so sharp. So I use these. For me, I like to use this because I like it to have sort of a soft look, but I don't mind the edge being sharp this way, but I like to have this soft sort of rounded bit, and then this seam adds a bit of texture to the bed. I do that on the front and the back, all the way to the edge like that. Okay, so there's that option. Another thing I love to do is and there are a couple ways that you could do this. You could pick this molding and you can get it to, yeah, like this. And you can come all the way down if you like that. And you could do that on both sides. It gives you that sort of nice soft bit. You can also, we'll sell that. I believe there are some resizable beams you could put up in there. Oh, go ahead and resize that. So like that. You can play with this. You could even put this up on the ceiling like that. You could do this multiple ones if you want to give it a nice textured look on the top. So it would be, you know, like that. Really just however you want. My favorite thing to do is put this little tiny thingy in the corner here. If it will let me. There. Okay. So I like to put this in all four corners just to give a bit of texture and a little cute element. Right? Like that. Now for these upper corners here, same type of thing. However you want to do it. You could do even something as simple as this. You could leave it how it is if you want. I believe there are some other things that you can do and add up in the corners. Let's get out of the resizable. Yeah, so like these, if you want to add a corbel to the corners, these don't fit perfectly, but they can look very cute. I have used these in past designs, and I think they look pretty cute. Another thing that you can do to really enjoy and make fun stuff with the decorations is use molding. So anything under the molding tag, any of these that go flat against the wall, you can put flat against the bed. So you could do that. You could do it all the way around. However you want. I like to add just a little bit to the end of the bed, give it a nice touch. So we're going to do that. We're going to leave it like that. And then for my corners, I'm going to go ahead and use this molding here. And then bring it all the way to the end. And that gives us a lovely, nice curve here. All the way down. It kind of gives us a nice, you can use just this. It will look a little bit different. I'll kind of show you how that would look. So you have this versus like a nice long sort of curve. But you can really do whatever you want. You could even leave these corners just the way they are. It's really up to you. We'll come down like that. All right. And then we'll go ahead and do one more down here on the end. Perfect. Okay. So now we kind of have a lovely base for our bed. You can, from here, decorate it however you want. Again, it's similar. You can put wallpaper up here. You could put textured ceramic tiles up here, whatever you want. And for today, I am going to pop over here to Surface Finishes. I'm going to grab some wood panels because I want to make this sort of a wood grain. We'll go with something a little bit dark like this. And we will not put a cut pattern on. But one thing we will do is we're going to buy it with the wood grain going this way, and then we're also going to change and make the wood grain going up and down. Now this is very important if you're going to do wood on your 4-poster bed, because the wood grain matters. You want it to be going the right direction. So we want the posts to look like they're going up and down like this, right? But if you were to add this to the posts, then, you know, it's not the same. It's not giving the same feel. It doesn't give a single cohesive post, right? So we're going to go ahead and bring this up. Now I like to stop here because I like to imagine that this entire four corners is a different piece that we're adding on top of these posts. So we go ahead and just do all of the edges like this. Same thing on the outer bit. For this right here, you can go down to the bottom just because we have it like this. Make sure though that when you're going this way, you have it set to the other direction of wood. So we would grab this one and go along the bottom like that. Perfect. And then I will show you what it will look like at the top. And then you will fill this in. Excellent. So see, now we have this looks like a post. I think this is the, nope, see, we don't want that one here. We want this one here. See, now it looks like it's all part of the same piece here. All right, so you would just plop that straight on top of your post and then continue around. I will go ahead and do that off camera and I will be right back. Okay, and we are back. Here's how it looks with all of the wood on it. Oh, except I missed a side. But this is what it looks like. We'll go ahead and grab. It's very easy to forget sides. I'll tell you what, because there's not just all of these sides out here. There's all kinds of little grooves on the inside. There's all the pieces. You have to make sure to get like up under here and make sure all your wood grain is going the correct direction. Get up under the bed. So just, you might miss it a few times. You might see it afterwards and be like, oh shoot, I missed a spot. So now for these lovely corners here, I usually like to use a metal tile personally. That's just what I like. I think it's pretty. So today we'll go ahead and use copper. And this is just a long press addition to these pieces. I just love the reflective element and I think it looks fun. And so I like it. I do it that way. Now you can choose whatever you want to do with this. If you choose to add it, you can make it look just like the wood, or like today for me, I'm going to give it a nice color. So we'll go with like a sort of off-white, maybe like that. And then for the details, that's these little end caps here. It's nothing to do with this. It's only these here. So I like to match them the same. I think this is the one. Yeah. Okay. So that's what we're going to do for that. And then for these, you can color them however you want. Fun fact, these can be all kinds of different surfaces. They could be ceramic. They can be little rocks. They can be marble. They can be any kind of wood in the game. You can just do paint, all the different paint textures. You can do the older sort of damaged look. You can do glossy plastic, matte plastic, however you want. The only thing that you cannot do is any kind of metal surface, which is kind of a bummer for me. I like the metal look, but today we're going to go ahead and go with this because I think it will match the footboard that we have up there. So we'll go ahead and do that for all those. Okay. So here's what we have so far. For this top bit, I just used the same wood here, which is this stained elm. And I used this cut pattern here. So that's what I did on the ceiling. You could do whatever you want up there. That's just how I did mine. Okay, so then for the last thing that I like to add, We can go over here and go down to windows and do window coverings. And I believe it's the largest one. Yes. So you can attach this because it's considered a wall. You can attach this here, open it up. Typically with curtains, you want to make sure that they are just above the floor for this bed. Now you can put these on the side too. Unfortunately, with the side, I think this is the biggest one and it is not quite long enough. So it does come over the bed a little bit, but I don't mind that. So I put them up there. I believe it's the longest one, right? Maybe this one's longer. No, I think this one is the longest one. But the other option that you do have is you can use one of these single curtains and do one of the small ones, because usually you want to have it open anyways, because it's just adding a cute effect. So you can add one of these tiny ones. You can add one that's a little bit bigger so that you can have the rolled back curtain look. So it looks all folded up like that. So then you'd put one here and then one down here and make sure they're lined up. And then I believe you can flip, yep, to that side. And then you would just change the length down to just above the floor. Okay, and then you can do these curtains however you want, obviously with whatever style, whatever color, whatever you want to do with those. Personally, I like the single panels just coming to the middle like that, because you can still cover a lot of the bed. Obviously, there's a space, but for me, I'm usually not closing the curtains. Not closing the windows on this. But yeah, so from here you can decorate the comforter however you want. The one downside to this, and I'll show you my remedy for it, is that in a lot of cases it can be fun to put like a carpet under the bed. I often like to put a carpet under the bed, like I'll put it right under the edge or whatever. Unfortunately, with this build, because this is considered a wall, it won't let you put the rug under the edge of the bed. So what I end up doing is I grab the resizable carpet and I roll it on out on this side and this side. And then I grab another, and you can, here, let's go ahead and change the size of this one so that I can fit, because it is a little large to start off with. Bring that back here, and then make it just as wide as the bed. Come on down here. Go straight up to the edge, and it will let you put this under the edge this way. So honestly, there we go. This is the only way I know of to get a rug under the bed like that. You can't do it. I don't know if you can do it with the round one. I've actually never tried. I don't think there is a round one that's resizable. Doesn't look like it. But your other option, I guess, would be the carpet tiles. If you wanted to just put carpet tiles around the edge, you could do that. So you could just build carpet like that. If you were going to do it like this, I'd recommend picking up a floor transition strip and putting it right along the edge, just so that you can create a sort of separation there. And if you change the color of that to something like this, then you could create a sort of depth. Otherwise, it's just flat on flat and it doesn't look like a carpet. And then there are, for this room, this is a small room, so I don't even know if there are side tables that you can put next to this bed in this room. Storage, small. So like, okay, yeah, there is. So for this 4-poster bed, I bring these down a little bit about here because you're gonna want to reach whatever it is that you have around the side here. So that's how I do with the side tables. And then one last thing that I will show you that I love, that I think is really cool, is you can get some wall lamps. And again, because this is considered wall, you can attach a bedside lamp straight to it, which I think is just amazing. You could go all out too and get like a ceiling lamp and stick it up on the top, because again, this is considered wall / ceiling. So there, now you have a whole bed light, or you can do a side light. So yeah, that's our 4-poster bed. Lots of customization options, lots of fun things that you can do with it. Before we go, I will show you what it looks like if you were to use resizable posts for this here. And I'll drop it down one more. So we'll go to our architectural elements. We'll go to resizable. We can pick this round one. You get it as close as you can without it turning red, okay? Make sure it's all lined up. Go straight up to the top. And then you would make sure to cover this bottom piece with one of these tiles. So I think you have to do that before you push it up against there snug. Okay? So that way it's less noticeable, and then you can change the style of this or the color of this however you want. Again, make sure you put a little bit of this right down on here. Make sure you're also doing it, make sure you're also doing it to these on the ends as well, so that you don't see that sort of raw material there. So yeah, and you can, I believe you can change these to a lot of different options here. You can paint them, you can do a different type of wood, you can do a statement piece. I wouldn't recommend these. But yeah, you could make it a nice, lovely, any color you want. So just have fun with it, guys. And this has been Lexi Bear with a lovely little 4-poster bed tutorial for you guys. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments, and if you liked this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.